scene for romantics. I'm your host, Ariane Nicole, and I'd like to begin by asking you the question, what is romantic? Well, the Webster's Dictionary defines it as an emotional appeal of what is heroic, adventurous, remote, mysterious, or idealized. Most certainly, Manhattan is all of these things. Nowhere else will you find such an unbelievable assortment of sights, sounds, people, and experiences. And in this program, we're going to show you the best that this city has to offer. Everyone in the world wants to visit New York City, and why not? Within this ultimate urban mecca are the finest things in life. Art, culture, glamour, and the picturesque side by side. No other city in the world offers more.
To see the advantages and to go through all the fantastic architecture and all the interior of the buildings, you need to walk it. Yeah, the buses, you miss so much, you know.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just beginning to feel now my legs. I've walked solid for 8 hours the last 3 days and it's beginning to tell on me. But no, yeah, I've enjoyed it tremendously.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
With a new experience on every block, you have 1,000 different opportunities to encounter the romance of New York. From the sleekness of Soho to the raw charm of the East Village and everything in between. And though New York can be as expensive as it gets, lots of the best things in New York are free. Like here in Central Park. Oh, you can't get much better than this. Absorbing a view that reaches 80 miles into the distance and encompasses 5 states on a clear day can turn the hardest heart toward romantic thoughts. On top of the Empire State Building, with New York City laid at your feet, you too will have an affair to remember.
I think the Empire State Building is really romantic. It's a lovely place to come. There's breathtaking views. It's amazing.
This is the closest thing to heaven they have in New York.
Open 9:30 to midnight daily, over 2.5 million people visit the Empire State Building each year, and as many as 25,000 visit each weekend. What does that mean? A lot of time standing in lines. First for tickets, and then one elevator to the 80th floor, and another up the rest of the way. There's a gift shop, snack bar, and if you're lucky, even a wedding.
Inasmuch as David and Elizabeth have consented in wedlock before this company of family, and a lot of others, and have witnessed the same and have taken their vows and have pledged their eternal love and devotion to each other, I, William Corbin, in accordance with the laws of the state of New York, hereby declare you're now husband and wife. Congratulations. You may now kiss the bride.
That storm is rolling in faster than expected. Is there anyone on board who knows what's going on?
I don't think so, Captain. Neither do I.
To find out what's going on, visit the Sky Ride, where you blast through the city on a supersonic ride which has you hanging onto your seat.
Yeah, this is our first time in New York, and this is the first place we've been to, the Empire State Building. It's pretty good.
I think it's very busy. It's very, very different to London, where we come from, but we're very impressed. We really like it.
Several hours should be set aside to explore one of the world's most magnificent museums, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Founded in 1870, the Met is located in Central Park along Fifth Avenue and offers visitors a breathtaking and comprehensive look at some of the world's finest art. With 2 million works of art spanning 5,000 years in history, the Met is truly one of the great wonders of Manhattan. The Met's American Wing is one of the museum's most loved attractions, and here you will find the world's most extensive collection of American art. Browse among more than 3,000 European paintings, which range from Rembrandt and Vermeer to Impressionist and Post-Impressionist. As you can see, a day at the Met is a visual vacation in itself. Take a break on the museum's rooftop sculpture garden. Fresh air and a stunning view of Central Park wait to refresh romantics. Refuel here for another pass inside the Met. Or you can visit more world-famous Manhattan museums such as the Museum of Modern Art, Museum of Natural History, or the Whitney, just to name a few. What are your favorite things about New York? 3 things.
Okay. There's so much to see, you just can't take it all in. I like the clothes, the designer clothes, which are half the price here than they are in Scotland. And I just think that the whole ambience of the place is really good.
I like the freedom of the people, I like the mannerism of the people, I like the cosmopolitan attitude.
Soho, which means south of Houston Street, is today a thriving center of art galleries, shops, and restaurants. Like many neighborhoods in Manhattan, Soho has a romantic story about how it came to fame. In the past, Soho was an area full of factories, warehouses, and dingy streets. In 1965, the area was even scheduled for demolition. But struggling painters and sculptors, luckily, who were drawn to the cheap rents, remodeled the cast-iron buildings into lofts and residences, and brought about the rebirth of one of Manhattan's most vibrant and romantic neighborhoods. In fact, today most Manhattan residents can't afford Soho's off-the-scale rents and, like you, browse among its world-class art galleries, boutiques, and restaurants. Watched over by skyscrapers is one of the crown jewels of Manhattan, Central Park. Starting at the northern edge of Midtown at 59th Street, this 843-acre park divides Manhattan's Upper West and Upper East sides. Not many people realize that Central Park's beauty is man-made. In the 1800s, the park was home to swamplands and slaughterhouses. Back then, the city planners decided to create an oasis in the midst of this busy city. 10 million carloads of stone, earth, and topsoil, plus loads of trees and plants, transformed it into the sanctuary it is today. The Central Park Zoo is a must for visitors with its polar bears, seals, and monkeys. For the activity-oriented, you can rent rollerblades and bicycles, rowboats, merry-go-round, carriage rides, and miles of meandering paths to walk upon. Central Park is also host to world-famous concerts.
To be alone in the park in the evening, at night, just 2 people, the sound of the horse, the movement of the carriage, couldn't help but be romantic.
The Central Park is a very romantic place, very beautiful for love.
We build boats in the old-fashioned way. We've got a number of different boats that we build around here, and we have various different ways that we build them. And we do it all with wood and with hand tools, and sometimes with electric tools. We also do restoration work, so if someone brings in a really old boat, we try to put it back together again and make it all good. The museum's had this here for about, I guess about 10 years or so, and we've been in this location for that long. I've been doing it only for about 3 years, and right now we're just all volunteers, and we come down on the weekends and try our hands, so we're learning every day.
And what are 3 things that you would give tourists advice to come see or do in New York?
I would say the theater is very exciting. The museums are just fabulous. The Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Museum of Natural History.
What's your definition of romance?
Gee, that's the toughest thing in the world. I don't know. I'd have to look that up in the dictionary.
I hate to say where you block out the rest of the world and that other person is, no matter what you do, whether it's walking down the street, walking through the park, being at a restaurant, or just hanging out in an apartment for the evening. If you're just contented with the other person, that's romance.
You will probably find yourself spending a lot of time in Midtown, which, as the name implies, is the district found in the middle of Manhattan, running from 34th Street up to 59th. The notoriously seedy 42nd Street has had a dramatic facelift, thanks largely to the Walt Disney Company. The area is now a hodgepodge of shops, theaters, and megastores, like the Virgin Records store on 45th Street and Broadway. Another treat is to walk across 42nd Street to 5th Avenue and visit the New York Public Library. Afterwards, refresh yourself with a drink and a bite to eat at the refined Bryant Park. 10 or so blocks uptown is Rockefeller Center, known best for being the headquarters of NBC and for its famous skating rink. Radio City is just a block away, and Saks Fifth Avenue and St. Patrick's Cathedral wait across the street. New York City is continuously updating itself, but some standards are here to stay, like Tiffany's, Bergdorf Goodman, Godiva Chocolate, all found on the most voluptuous avenue ever, Fifth Avenue. New challenges for your time and wallet have sprung up in the area as well, most notably Nike Town and the Warner Brothers store, perfect for a mix of fun and fashion. If you've had enough of the conservative Midtown, then get on a cab or train and head downtown. Your 2 best destinations are the East and West Village. For quaint shops and top-of-the-line bistros, browse the West Village's tree-lined streets, especially around Sheridan Square. If you're looking for some down and dirty fashion and fun, then head to the East Village. Hang out in St. Mark's Place and visit Veselka's, one of the best Polish diners in the city. Or stroll down 9th Street with its many small antique and vintage shops.
Our basic staple is India. And then, of course, we get things from other places, Africa or South America when we can. So we always try to keep something new happening. Yeah, we get people from out of town, and they're quite surprised when they meet people who have a certain warmth or who reaches out to them. They always say they enjoy it, they want to come back, especially this street right here. They always say, you know, we love this street. Really, it's about peace and harmony and love, you know, just trying to live a good life.
St. Mark's area is great. It's a lot of young people, a lot of things happening all over. There's always a street fair, and it's just people are really nice around here.
Don't understand. I do and I don't wanna understand how I feel and why I feel like I do.
I'm Julio Velasquez, and I'm a musician here in New York, and I've lived here all my life.
Then you where you should be in my arms, baby. Who's who?
New York isn't just a romantic city because it's beautiful and famous, but because the people here are very colorful and they're constantly expressing themselves in any which way or form that they can. For my case, it would be my music, and the music to me is my emotions, is my energy, and when I'm performing it, it's like if that were to be made into a power, it would make me king.
Thoughts are mystery. Can't you feel my heart burn inside of me when I'm close to you?
And the case of the song we're hearing now is a romance between myself and a woman who couldn't quite see us together but had something to share with one another.
Just be the best day town in the world. Nowhere else will you find such an unbelievable assortment of things to please the senses. From Broadway to jazz clubs to five-star restaurants and tucked away little bistros, New York glitters like the world's largest jewel at night.
Come to any show on Broadway, they're all wonderful. Find a great restaurant. I'm not going to give you the names of any because I don't want to produce any of them, but any restaurant, and take a ride in Central Park in a horse-drawn carriage if you really want to be romantic.
Oh. Want to treat yourself to something really special? Then indulge in a 3-hour moonlit voyage on World Yacht. Here, the rest of the world falls away as you succumb to fine food, music, dancing, and Manhattan's skyline as you've never seen it before.
I don't know of any other place in New York to compare it to as another restaurant. There's something for everyone. If you don't wish to sit down and enjoy the food, and the wine, and the music, you can walk around on the deck. You'd probably always treasure and remember this cruise. It was something different.
For an appetizer, we had shrimp and scallops over radicchio salad and
a couple bottles of wine.
Yeah.
I'm a slow dancer. She's a fast dancer.
I think that's all we're going to get here tonight.
World Yacht departs from Pier 81 at 41st Street and proceeds south down the Hudson River. Trip highlights include Ellis Island, Liberty Island, the Statue of Liberty, and the Brooklyn Bridge.
You might catch a nice sunset over the Statue of Liberty, you know, or if it's like even foggy, you might catch the Statue of Liberty's torch coming through the fog with the lights piercing from the base of the statue. These are awesome sights that a lot of people in New Yorkers don't get to see.
World Yacht offers daytime and nighttime cruises. The full dinner cruise costs around $75 per person, but you can choose the cruise-only option, which costs substantially less. Either way, a very special adventure is guaranteed.
The meal was superb, the boat was wonderful, and the scenery, the backdrop there was unbelievable.
Because you think New York's wonderful when you're in the city, but from here it's just like a dream, really. It looks unreal.
Five floors above the rest of the world, the elevator doors open to a world of glamour, sophistication, and style. Welcome to the Rainbow Room, Manhattan's most stunning and romantic restaurant. With a revolving dance floor, breathtaking views out its two-story windows, exquisite cuisine, and ambiance that won't quit. A night at the Rainbow Room is romance at its best. Dinner easily runs about $100 per person, and if that price tag is too hefty, try a drink at the restaurant's sleek mahogany bar while soaking up your surroundings.
That's why the lady is a tramp.
We're going to make you lobster thermidor, which is a very classic dish from the Rainbow Room. And a lot of people come here really for that dish. So here are the main ingredients for the lobster thermidor. We have a little bit of white wine, fresh tarragon, fresh shallots, whipping cream, mustard, brandy, spinach, the lobster of course, and at the end for the glaze a little bit of egg yolks. You just take the shallots, the white wine and reduce it, add the tarragon, the cream, and then the mustard until it's the consistency that you want, which is, if you can see in the camera, just about like this, a little thick, but not too runny. The lobster and put it in there. So one thing you want to be careful is never to heat up the lobster too much. Never boil the lobster too long or anything like this, or leave it on the stove for too long because it's going to come very, very, very rubbery. A little bit of spinach in here, or any other vegetable that you like. But the spinach is really a good combination with that dish. Then you're just going to put your lobster back inside the shelf on the top of the spinach. What we do is that we take the egg yolk with a little bit of water and we just whip it in a steam table over steam for about 30 seconds till it glaze, and you have a nice caramelized color and you have the flavor with it. When you come in the Rainbow Room, everything is special because you come in a restaurant, first of all, you can see the view is unbelievable. And it's one of the only restaurants left who have a dance floor with, we have an 8-piece band every night. So you have the dining, of course you have the food, but you can dance, you have the whole ambience, the grand service, the view, and the whole entourage. From the moment you get out of the elevator on the 65th floor, everything is there. We don't leave anything to chance.
That's
Not
right.
sitting at home. I think that's death to romance, sitting at home too much, maybe. Do you
But
think?
It's a very difficult question, I think. How do you keep romance alive? Very difficult question.
If you have moments that you don't forget, that is a form of romance, I suppose, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah.
But we don't think of it like that when we've been married for 38 years.
If music is your thing, New York City is host to some of the best jazz clubs in the world, like the Bottom Line, the Blue Note, and Village Vanguard. And of course, Manhattan has the Great White Way, Broadway. Broadway theater houses are, for the most part, not actually found on Broadway, the avenue. Most Broadway shows are on cross streets between 42nd and 53rd Streets. Since the hot shows are often sold out, don't forget to make reservations ahead of time. Older shows tend to be easier to get tickets for. After going to the opera or ballet at Lincoln Center, why not hop a ride downtown and grab a cappuccino and cannoli in Little Italy? Here, while away the rest of the evening sampling the fine Italian delicacies and old-world ambiance.
Vertigo, simply the best. Hot nights and ice cream and suits neatly pressed. The penthouses glitter in top hats and pearls. On four wheels or high heels, the city gets dressed. We just got acquainted a short week ago. No time to be tainted, no time to say no. You're very persuasive. A glass of red wine affects me the same way, and I feel just fine. We're racing skyscrapers from pillar to post. We sit in the back seat, enjoying a toast.
I wrote Fabulous Vertigo to talk about the beautiful, inspirational things there are to do in New York City, and also how you feel when you're just about to take that leap. Totally experiment, let everything go. Because New York is a lot of extremes, and you've got to be ready for it.
New York can be a bit overwhelming, even for the most seasoned New Yorker. So in this section, we're going to give you some tips to make your stay as enjoyable as possible. Give me 3 words of your impression of New York so far.
Friendly, active, and big.
So if you were to tell a tourist what to do here, what kind of information would you give them?
Walk. Leave mum on the bench and walk.
When you get into your room, make sure the telephone is working. Make sure the smoke alarm works. Check inside, make sure there's nobody hanging out in the room. Take a card and write down the number of the security in the hotel and leave it by the phone, your precinct phone number, and any emergency numbers that are right there. This way, if an emergency does happen, you're not wasting valuable time. What was the number here? What was the number there? Okay, once you're in a new environment, you have to kind of take into consideration where you're going for the day, what you need to carry with you. So I take everything that's of value and I leave it in the hotel security, the vault downstairs. I only carry basically what I need, 1 credit card, maybe ID, try to not carry too many things of distraction. Look at people. You don't walk around like you're thinking of everything in the world. You're looking down at the floor. You're not aware of your surroundings. You look around you and you're looking at people. What is this doing? It's identifying the criminal. So if somebody walks up to you with the intention of taking your bag, you got it in here, you look like you know where you're going, you're aware, you're confident in yourself. I'm looking at you, you're not going to come to me. Don't forget, the criminal is the opportunist, okay? The opportunist is out there. It's up to us to reduce our risk of getting known as a crime victim. So what you have to do is reduce that risk factor that we all carry. And yes, it's a big city and it can present its dangers. So if you just watch what you're doing, pre-plan your trip every day, watch your body language. It's very important.
Finding out what's going on in Manhattan has never been easier. In addition to the New York Times, the New Yorker, and online services, various local papers serve as invaluable resources for what's going on around town. The Village Voice, a free weekly newspaper, has all the listings you will ever need, as does Time Out. Both can be found at newsstands and markets. You should tip between 15 and 20%, depending on the service, at restaurants, bars, taxis, and for hotel services. You know a taxi is free when the middle light is lit up. When it's off, that means the taxi is occupied. Often, where you sleep is as important as what you do during the day. Manhattan's hotels run the gamut from small, intimate establishments to the large, polished, and corporate concerns. Here are a few we recommend. You don't have to be a New York native to get around Manhattan like a pro. The public transit system is inexpensive, convenient, and safer than most people would have you think. Just use common sense and don't ride too late at night. Trains, as subway cars are commonly called, run up and down Manhattan. There are two types of trains: locals, which stop at every station on a line, and express trains, which only stop at major stations. The 4, 5, and 6 trains take care of the east side of Manhattan, and the other subway lines run up and down the west side, each traveling along a different avenue. Buses run up and down the avenue, stopping every 4 or 5 blocks. Crosstown buses, as their name implies, run east and west on most two-way streets. You can get a free transfer from the bus driver when traveling on streets and avenues, and remember, they only take tokens, Metro cards, or exact change. Well, the holidays have certainly come to New York City, and believe me, nobody does it better. How is it different here?
Much more people all over, you know, and much more cars and more stress, I would say.
Miracle on 34th Street shows how magical Macy's is during the holidays. I'm glad to report that in real life, Macy's more than lives up to its celluloid image. During the holidays, the legendary store serves up a heaping dose of old-fashioned warmth and charm. Blending the opulence of fine gifts with the friendly feel of carolers and festive window displays, Macy's is a holiday tradition for kids of all ages.
Well, Macy's has a long tradition of being a host to Santa Claus, and they're very gracious to do so.
Do you know how to say Merry Christmas in other tongues?
Well, a couple. I can say Buon Natale, which is in Italian, Feliz Natal, which is in Portuguese, and of course,
that's
which
beautiful.
Is in sign language.
And Feliz Navidad,
and
which
Feliz
is in Spanish.
Navidad, of course,
Right.
one of my favorites.
If you could give the world a present other than peace, what do you think it would be?
I'd take away world hunger.
I think singing would be my gift because that's what I enjoy most, and I think Dickens said it best when he said, "If music be the fruit of love, play on."
I think people should respect each other much more, accept that we are different, accept that we have different cultures, accept that we have different backgrounds.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey!
New York is certainly fun and exciting during the holidays, but don't forget to catch some of the culture, like here at the New York Historical Society, where there's a wonderful holiday exhibition on the history of Santa Claus.
The holiday exhibit on Santa Claus, or St. Nicholas,
is really to give you a perspective on how Santa Claus evolved from the early concept of him as a small dwarf-like person to the later image that we all have of him as big and fat and jolly with a beard. The exhibition itself has a lot of different things in it, including paintings, manuscripts, and the actual first edition of The Night Before Christmas. What we are is the preserver of New York's past, that both the city and the region. And if you come and see the exhibit, you can start in one room and you go all the way up to the 20th century, and it's quite interesting.
Give love on Christmas Day. No greater gift is better than love. What the world needs is love. Yes, the world needs your love. Why don't you give love on Christmas Day?
What are your favorite places that you've seen in New York?
Well, I did like the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. That was very informative. But we've really just sort of stuck around the main parts. We've seen all the buildings, the touristy bits that you normally go to, which has been very good. Because when you go back home, people are going to say, "So what did you see?" So we thought we'd better do it all. So we're like shattered. We've walked non-stop for about 5 days.
How is New York romantic?
Romantic? We've been too tired walking about for anything to seem romantic.
We've been in bed by 10 o'clock at night. It's just absolutely zonked out, just...
The theater, the lights at Christmas. We never go away at Christmas time. We always come down here to let the kids see what we used to grow up with, the Angels down Rockefeller Center, just all the different people from all over that come to visit, just that they should see the melting pot that New York brings.
We've seen all the sites. We've seen Liberty Island, we've seen Ellis Island, we've seen the United Nations. We're going to take a trip to Atlantic City, aren't we?
Yes.
What's your favourite? We're going to see a show. Oh, there's so much to offer. I couldn't begin to single out one.
Well, that's it, folks. I hope you've enjoyed the show, and when you get here, have a wonderful time here in New York City.
Hold on tight to your pocketbook. Don't speak to strangers. Don't be caught looking up at a tall building. They'll know you're not from New York. Only speak to people in uniform. If somebody asks you a question and they look suspicious, say no, speak English. See how much fun you'll have.